Thank you for joining us this evening for the shortest of our debates this election season. We will jump right in with our first question for candidate Moyer. And describe for us how you recently planned a day to be productive.
Excellent question, and it's one that we've been getting a lot during the Scott Moyer for Cisco campaign. And in fact, I have a drawing here of a day that I recently had. During this day, I had two presentations. One was an internal presentation, the other was a solutions-based presentation with a client. In order to get ready for those, I needed at least 2 hours of prep. So the way I started my day is I started making some sales calls first things, which went straight into prep. Then I got ready for these two. That allowed me to spend the second half of my day doing some other sales calls and returning messages that I had left earlier. And the last 30 minutes was spent doing planning and prep.
That was very touching. Thank you for your answer. On to our next question. What are your 3 biggest strengths?
My 3 biggest strengths is that I am tenacious, I am a problem solver, and I'm goal-oriented. And this can be seen by a recent event in which I was working with a client. I noticed that with this particular client, it was starting to lose momentum, so I decided to get on a plane and fly up there. And I went into a more in-depth discovery period with them and found out that they really needed some strategic consulting. So I put together a comprehensive program that we did based off of our discovery session. And in the end, the client was much happier with the results that they received. And for me, I was able to double my sales target for the month.
Oh, I just loved that. How do you overcome objections?
3 ways of overcoming objections is through empathy, by shifting control, and showing value. By empathy, if you apologize to somebody, it takes them off the edge and it raises the bar of trust. By shifting control back over to them, they're the ones who feel like they're leading the conversation, and it's easier for them to stay involved and stay engaged. And also showing value. All throughout a conversation, you want to be showing value in your solution and how it's going to make their life easier. But the best thing about handling objections is by doing your homework ahead of time, knowing the subject, knowing the person you're calling to, and hopefully objections will never come up through the conversation.
That was an excellent answer, Mr. Moyer. On to our next question. How do you work without close supervision?
Working without close supervision is easy as long as that there's clear direction and vision. If you have clear direction and vision, that means that you and your supervisor are aligned on all the details that need to be done throughout the role. This should be things that need to be conducted for that week that you're supposed to be working on with clients, as well as sales targets that you should be hitting. Along with a clear direction and vision, you have to have open lines of communication. And that means that you're reporting regularly on what is going on with all 3 of those, and then they're communicating back to you on what it is that their wants and needs are. And then that way you're able to work without very direct, close supervision, and that you're really truly managing yourself.
Now on to our final question for the evening. Name for me a recent achievement that you've accomplished and are proud of.
Great question. Earlier this year I ran a marathon, which took months of training. In order to get all that training done, you have to be very focused on your time management. You have to do your work as well as get your workouts in. I also had a teammate that I was running this with, so I had to make sure that our schedules aligned. And it was also helpful to keep each other motivated as it's a really arduous process. But overall, the thing that I'm happiest is that I did meet and I beat my goal time. So with that being said, very proud of the accomplishments that I've done, but I think what I'm most proud of is my campaign, Scott Moyer for Cisco. Remember to vote yes on Wednesday.